So now, this allegation, it takes it from just sharing something without consent to then also the audio recording having been taken without Chaeiry's consent. Would you use the word piss to describe Destiny's situation? I mean, recording someone without their consent and sending it is about as bad as it gets. Bro, if I need to go on a sex offender list, I'm taking like 20 other streamers with me, okay? Wait, what? I was gonna keep that to myself until I can use it for vengeance purposes. You should integrate into the society that you move to. I'm not having a bunch of people come over here like Muslims do to the UK and set up little ghettos and behave in the way that they've always done. No, you're going to integrate into Chud Nation. Then so do like 100 other streamers. This is insane. What about everyone else? Okay, dude. Anyway, guys, moving on. So we've got obviously Pixie's allegation and Destiny's response there. Then, as tends to be the case, a further allegation came forward, okay? And this is from Chaeiry. Chaeiry is another, I guess, former orbiter of Destiny, who I think came forward with another story about some sexual escapades that they got into. It was kind of framed a bit as a bit of an allegation, but I don't think it was anything that serious, if I recall correctly. It's where this 15-2 meme came from. So yeah, take from that what you will. I'm just going to lay my cards on the table right now. Okay, I'm going to lay my cards out, plain and simple. I have not seen any evidence or any proof to back anything up of this. Again, I'm cautiously believing. And the reason for that is twofold. One is I've spoken to JStalk, who has reviewed the audio in question, and he has confirmed that it is what it's claimed to be. And I also believe that JStalk ended up cutting ties over this too. And what with JStalk being the primo DGG Destiny sweeper capo for the past however long, I think that's a pretty extreme act to engage in off the back of like something flimsy. So yeah, I'm cautiously believing of this, you know? So, you know, it's one of those situations where it's like, it's difficult for Chaeiry to prove this being the case without leaking very intimate audio of herself, which I can understand they're not wanting to do, you know? Anyway, I know you guys know what I'm talking about already, but let's just go over the allegations themselves, and then we'll talk a bit about what's happened off the back of this too. So this was Chaeiry's original tweet. Today, I was made aware of an intimate audio recording taken of me without my consent that was also shared without my consent. So now, this allegation, it takes it from just sharing something without consent to then also the audio recording having been taken without Chaeiry's consent. I'm upset right now, and I'm going to give myself time to process. Okay. So this is obviously adding an aspect of what I believe is called, is it voyeurism? Is that the right terminology? I don't know if that's purely video or includes audio too. But in any case, you know, the Pixie stuff was obviously extremely egregious, and this adds, you know, another level of objectionable behavior. Of you know, objectionable sounds like I'm downplaying it. Further abhorrent behavior being stacked on top, okay? Dude, it's so annoying. I know you got to be so careful with your language because people are sweeper hunting at the moment. But I mean, yeah, it is obviously just disgusting. Like disgusting and utterly grotesque behavior. And I think it's this behavior which has led to people, you know, talking about, you know, should someone be on the sex offenders registry for this? And yeah, I think if you're going to record people without their consent, it's reasonable that other people in the future might want to know that's a possibility if you're with them, you know? Potentially criminal. Yeah, sure. It's a potentially criminal act that has been engaged in here. I mean, this is the thing that I find kind of frustrating, is this idea, I don't know, a lot of you have been memeing with it, but there are still some core hangers on. And it's like, well, what the fuck are you supposed to say? Like, what the fuck are you supposed to say? Like, how are you supposed to in any way mount a sort of defense of this? You know, or even like a sort of, not a defense, but, you know, to be fair, like the fair take is this is, you know, beyond abhorrent behavior that he's engaging in. Like, you are explicitly going against someone's consent, even more so in that you're recording it without the consent as well. So, I just, it's, you know, it's just despicable and wicked, and it's obviously just completely condemnable. And yeah, whilst I again would say that if someone is close to Destiny, friends with them, and wants to see him through this tough time, sure, that's your discretion as a friend. But there is this level of like public downplaying, like from Dan, for example, where even after this came out, he's like, "I'm ride or die." Oh, by the way, isn't what Hassan did bad? And it's like, bro, what is it with these attempts to like focus on other behavior rather than just squarely talking about how, and only and solely talking about it? I think that's the other aspect too of this. It's like, it's all very well to criticize it and then quickly go on to criticize someone else for doing something the same, the worse, less worse, whatever. But like, look this in the face. This is atrocious. This is now obviously, again, bear in mind this is an allegation, so this is all premised on this being true. Now it could be that this is like wrong in some way. Again, I'm just kind of thinking it through, and I'm like, although obviously there's things Chaeiry's done in the past which are criticisable, I just fail to understand how this could be a dishonest aspect. Like, the way this has come about, a third party has contacted Chaeiry and said that I've got a recording of you. Then for JStalk to verify this and publicly state that not only does he believe Chaeiry, but he's cutting ties with Destiny over this. It just, so much would have to stack up for this to be bullshit that I'm just of the belief that this is probably true. I'm cautiously believing of this, you know? And it would be one of those circumstances. Well, if JStalk says so, well, it's not just JStalk says so. It's that JStalk has taken a substantive action that is going to negatively detriment him, and has done already. And for him to do that, when, bear in mind, JStalk has said before, he sweeps for Destiny because it's financially beneficial to do so.
Has Destiny always been obsessive over narrative control and I was blind to it? If so, thanks for opening my eyes, Chud the Wise.
Yeah, I think, speaking as a former orbiter, I said this earlier, when you're in the orbit, when you're in the cult, it comes across as Destiny, you know, justifiably smiting his enemies who are coming to attack him. But from the outside looking in, it becomes a lot more apparent of like, no, this is an attempt to control the narrative in some way, you know? But then when you read it from an outside perspective, you're like, God, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about that? You know? And also, there has been times where Destiny has reasonably defended himself against drama. You know what I mean? It's not like every manifesto he's done has been a complete bullshit fest. Like, there have been some which are just pretty, like the Keffals one, for example. The Keffals one is pretty robust. Like, you can't really find much fault with that, I don't think. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, dude, I can't remember. I never followed the Bob 7 drama. I only knew enough that Bob 7 had got shat on, and, you know, to know that that was a possibility of what might happen to me. But I didn't know the ins and outs of it and what happened there. But people are going back and looking at the Bob 7 stuff in a new light, you know? Would you use the word rapist to describe Destiny's situation? A digital sex crime or something, I think I'd probably use. Yeah. An e-rapist, maybe? I don't know. I mean, recording someone without their consent and sending it is about as bad as it gets. In terms of, you know, in terms of like an online thing, right? Like, like recording someone in an intimate moment without their consent and then sending it to a third party, assuming this is true, is about as bad as I could think of in terms of like an online sex crime that you can commit. And even then, if it's voyeurism, that's not necessarily even an online sex crime. Like, you're performing that in the real world, aren't you? So yeah, I don't know. It's like, I know that people have used different terminologies. I know people have, like, you know, there's obviously haters that are going to like what people perceive as an extreme with this sort of thing. So it's difficult to kind of assess fairly where this is. But yes, it's, you know, it's allegedly recording someone in a sexual moment without their consent and then sending it to someone else. Like, what the fuck? Also, I saw this on Guess Who's Queeman stream. Pretty sure Queeman showed this. Isn't there some message of him admitting to recording or sending a video that's a phone pocket recording of someone performing a sex act? So whilst that isn't in relation to Chaeiry, it's like, well, it seems highly unlikely. I mean, it seems absurd to even say, but it's highly unlikely that person knew what was going on. So it's like there is some evidence that, you know, he may have done this before as well. Can you separate the art from the artist to get your morals? I'm not so sure. I mean, my basic view on this is like, you know, if you want to watch Destiny, then yeah, of course, watch away. I don't fucking care if you want to watch anyone that you like. It's just engaging in an honest way, knowing the kind of like, some of the stuff he's preached is completely undermined in all of this now, you know? Yeah, just be real about what he is and what he's done. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that's going to tell you can and can't watch whoever. I don't really care about that. But yeah, he's obviously got a big undermining of it. You know, again, with this, we'll look at the other tweet as well. I'm always willing to say, okay, well, maybe there's some other context. Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's some sort of silver bullet that gets him out of all of this. You know, more than happy to hear like what he's got to say in response to all of this. It just feels like he's hiding behind the kind of litigation point, but he's willing to say things which could potentially cause legal issues anyway, but they just so happen to denigrate the other side of the equation. Do you see what I mean? It just feels a bit dishonest. You know, just say nothing then. Just say I can't speak about it because of pending litigation, and that's it. I think even sometimes celebrities will put out a statement and say like, I, you know, robustly reject the claims made against me. I cannot speak further due to litigation, you know, something like that. And that's the kind of statement, you know, not, oh, but the other person on the other side, well, have you considered that these messages from this person? It's like, it just seems like you're willing to talk about it to denigrate the other side, you know. Anyway, come on, we've already covered that. Let's focus on the matter at hand. So, further to this, Chaeiry put out another statement regarding this. Destiny has blocked me and banned me and people supporting me from his community. I have not done anything besides ask him for an explanation, as I was assured this was something he didn't do to me. When I wasn't given one privately, I spoke publicly. So, based on this, it seems like Chaeiry did, according to Chaeiry at least, again, we can't see the logs. But again, why? The thing to bear in mind with this as well is, if Chaeiry was being dishonest about details like that, Destiny would just light her up and we just put out the thing and say like, you know, oh no, look, she didn't, look what happened. No, she didn't mess with me at all, or something like that, you know? So it seems pretty likely to me that she probably did reach out and he probably did block her, right? Even if I can't see that happening in front of me. I'm not involved in any lawsuit or coordinating with anyone seeking justice due to the leaks in November, though they have had my empathy and support in their efforts. It is only yesterday I became aware that Destiny had recorded me while we had sex without my consent, and with no regard for me, also shared that recording to others. How do I say this without sounding like a fellow e-rapist, I guess is the question here. Because it's like, obviously, like this feels like a bit of a virtue though. You should get consent from the person before recording a sex act. Obviously, okay? But it's like, Okay, so let's say that someone did that and they recorded without consent, right? That's obviously a fucked up thing to do. But I could at least, like, maybe be like, okay, well, it's a fucked up thing to do, but you're jerking off to it to yourself. You know, still shitty, but it's the sending it that makes it all the more crazy. It's like you're then sending something which you've illicitly recorded to a third party, and the person has got no idea that they've been recorded or anything like that. Who ain't recorded their girlfriend non-consensually? Well, I'm not saying that it's a normal thing, to be clear, right? I still think you should obviously get consent, and it's an incredibly shitty, skeezy thing to do. The sending it to the third party just makes it all the more egregious for me, because it's like another level of someone's violation of their consent, because you're then distributing it to a third party. Do you see what I mean? Like, the way I'd put it is this, okay? Imagine if you messaged your ex-girlfriend and you said, oh, by the way, there was one time that I, recorded you without you knowing and jerked off to it a bunch of times. You're going to get, like, response A. If you phoned your ex-girlfriend and said, by the way, I once recorded you and I've jerked off to it a bunch of times, and I also sent it to someone else that I was sexting, like, response B is going to be way more fucking angry and worse, because it's like a much more egregious breach of your consent than the first. Do you see what I mean? Because then you're putting it out there to someone else rather than it just being for your own personal collection, so to speak. So yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Not to say that it's okay to do. I know we got some DGGers that are very malleable to the streamer guy saying stuff, so I need to be careful here. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that it adds an extra layer of despicableness to the behavior. That's all I'm saying, okay? Just to be clear. It was only yesterday I became aware that Destiny recorded me while we had sex without my consent, and with no regard for me. 2 women now have let me know they have received sexual recordings taken of me in September 2023 without my consent. I thank them so much for their concern for me. No amount of public humiliation will ever make me regret being made aware of what was done to me. I'll be filing a police report and pressing charges. And I believe that that has now happened. I believe that that has now occurred. So that's another aspect where, again, not saying a legal standard or proving one of reason doubt, I am more willing to step forward in cautiously believing, because filing a police report, like, with bullshit is a pretty, you open yourself up to legal liability. So it's like, well, why would you do that if, like, you don't have anything to go off? Like, that would seem to me to be a pretty big risk if you're going off complete bullshit, you know? And then that, paired with Destiny's, well, I say lack of response. We'll get to his response in just a sec. Yeah. Oh, this is the thing I was talking about. This is just the end with him finishing. Again, audio is scuffed because my phone is in my pocket. So this at least shows that, I mean, again, you have to get to absurd levels of analysis, like, unless he's lying here or some stupid, like, this shows that it's very likely that this isn't even the first time he's done something like that. So all of this stuff stacks up to make it believable. Now, with that being said, you can stack a Jenga tower as tall as you want. All it takes is one block for it to crumble. So if Destiny had some sort of robust response to this, if he had some sort of evidence or proof or anything that he could show, or anything to back him up on this, or even like a robust denial or something, it would sow more doubt in my mind. And I'd be like, okay, well, I've not seen the evidence of the former, so I can't go 100% on this. The problem is, Destiny's response has been to spurg out in DGG Chat in the last few days that he's been off. There hasn't been, like, a robust response. One of the responses was to ban Chaeiry from DGG. And if that was paired with, I robustly reject these allegations and I will fight them in court or something, I could maybe understand that. You feel someone's maligning you. You feel someone is accusing you. But to just ban Chaeiry and then spurg out in his chat about it. It just doesn't paint a particularly... It doesn't paint a picture of innocence. Let's put it that way, okay? Anyway, let's have a look through these messages. Now, I will say, this did get linked to me in my Discord. But from what I can understand, I'm pretty sure that this actual thing, I'm pretty sure came from Kiwi Farms. It's like this dude. Oh my god. What? Dude, this is the problem. I can't find what I'm looking for. I've been absolutely bombarded with links. Here we go. This is it here. This is it here. No, wait, there was another one that was easy to read. Who's got the ones that's easy to read? Dude, this is what I was worried was going to happen. I was going to get just bombarded with these links. And then it was okay for a while, and then I did. And now I've got every single thing that's happened, except for the thing that I want. There was like a link, and it laid everything out really easy to read, with like responses and stuff like that. No, it wasn't that. It was even easier than this. It came from Kiwi Farms, I think. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? There's these logs here, but there was another, because these are a bit tricky to read, because it's like up, back to front and stuff like that. You got to read up. There was one where it's like, it showed Destiny response, and it was dated as well. And I'm pretty sure it was on Kiwi Farms. Yes, the questions and answers. Kiwi Farms, a site we all shit on until it fits our narrative. I don't think I'm unreasonable when I speak about Kiwi Farms, am I? I feel like I'm pretty fair. Give a pretty fair assessment of what's going on over there. Even though sometimes people call me the F-slur and a gok chaser. Misinformation, by the way. Former gok chaser is more accurate, okay? Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, this, from what I can gather, is Destiny's response, if you like, to, I think, some of the Pixie stuff, and then the Chaeiry stuff as well. Now, it's a bit small, so I'll just read it out for you. So, Sourcap says, Ratatouille, bro. Pixie still didn't want to go public. If you don't want to go public, the only option is to get paid off. She went public now because Sunday outed her. And Destiny answers, Sourcap, nah, I bet it was all coordinated. So, I think you can just look at the public information about this. But, you know, speaking as well from hearing a little bit of this behind the scenes and some of this stuff, I just do not think, I'm 100% certain that this was not a coordinated effort, right? From what I understand, Pixie was genuinely blindsided by this. She maybe got wind that there was maybe something going to happen, but I don't think she knew the extent of it, and she certainly didn't coordinate and certainly didn't agree with these videos coming out, okay? That statement was a product of Pixie desperately trying to get something out because of these videos being released. Okay? This is not a coordinated effort. You know? And also, on top of that as well, you've now got an absolutely fractious disagreement between all of the parties involved in talking about this in terms of who is to blame and who swept. Not so erudite, were they trying to sweep for Destiny? Straighter Raid now is getting roped into that narrative. So, yeah, I just don't buy that this was a coordinated thing at all. I think I'm 100% certain that it is in no way coordinated. Pixie wasn't involved. Pixie didn't know. Okay. And then... Also, okay, time to move on to the next thing with Gucci on this topic. Okay. So, this is from the 23rd of January. Dude. Fuck. I'm sorry I'm not prepared, guys. Listen, okay, I either could have spent an extra hour preparing or just gone live when I did, and I think I made the right choice. I just want to know when that tweet is from. Oh, here we go, January 21st. So, Chaeiry's tweet was January 21st. So he's not really meaningfully addressed the Chaeiry stuff. And he's just like, time to move on, guys. So the Pixie stuff he did address in a statement. Hasn't addressed the Chaeiry stuff. Wants to move on from it. Like, you're allowed to, like, even if you end up being found guilty in court of something, I don't think there's any legal liability in defend, like just saying I didn't do it or something. We had this conversation before, I fear, and maybe someone had an argument against that. But you can make a general statement. Like, you can make a general statement. I don't think that would affect you if it came to court of saying I didn't do the thing. I'm pretty sure that, like, celebrities, like I said just a moment ago, celebrities do this all the time. I didn't do it. I'm under litigation. I can't speak further. And that's the end of it. Faraday, I think she wouldn't have done all of this if he displayed more remorse or just faked it. His logs were super autistic. A mega lol. IP ban this person. From December 11th onwards, Lauren D was working her hard. We were always going to come to this place. So again, we're talking about Lauren de Laguna. What difference does that make of what happened? He sent the video. Pixie made the allegation. He admitted to doing it. So what is this Lauren... I honestly feel this is such an obvious attempt to divert away from the obvious truth by bringing up a fucking DGG like villain. I don't think this really means anything or matters. Destiny, are you still streaming on Feb 1st? We'll see. Probably not today. Probably before the 1st. And he's obviously gone live today. Destiny, she orchestrated that. She felt betrayed by Erin too. Come on, what are the chances? Let's respond to this. I don't trust any of these people, lol. There's a reason why in 2024 I was largely separated from basically all of them. Way too much backroom log sharing, dumping, coordinating weird shit. So again, making this kind of like weird, like sort of claim that, that this is all the product of like backroom log sharing, dumping, coordinating weird shit. Again, even if this was true, there could be the biggest fucking coordinated campaign behind the scenes you've ever fucking seen. How does it change the material facts of what's at play here? This just feels like more attempt to spin a narrative, to get support amongst your community, when it seems like certainly the Pixie stuff is established. And then with the Chaeiry stuff, I'm not seeing any robust denial of the allegation anywhere. To my knowledge, Destiny's not made a robust denial of the claim that Chaeiry's made in any way. Destiny, are you going to make any further response to stream like normal? Destiny responds, I can't really say anything specific. I mean, I fucked up in some regards. All I can do is try and change behavior and move forward. If people don't want to watch because of past stuff, then I understand that. If you want to watch for political stuff or think I can do better than I have, then there's that. So is this like not just a tacit admission? Because you're saying that you can't speak on it further and you fucked up. I mean, is it not a bit troubling for those that are still hanging on that Destiny is not able to just robustly say, I did not do that thing that I'm accused of by Chaeiry? Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, you can see why people, you know, they were left with no other option. Like, this is like pretty fucking, I don't know what the right word is. You know, pretty damning. It's pretty damning, I think. And this is why there's been this mass exodus and why he's not been able to, you know, twist the narrative in his favor as I think he has done at points in the past. When could we anticipate a more fleshed out response? Destiny, no rush, but just curious if you had an idea in mind. Literally never. I stopped talking about my personal life over the past year, basically. And everything involved requires huge divulgence and tons of personal stuff, which just opens up the can for a billion other personal things to be involved, and I have zero interest in litigating my entire personal life over the internet to a ton of vultures who are just looking for their pound of flesh. Now, I would say that there are definitely people that are vultures looking for their pound of flesh. I'm not. It makes no fucking odds to me. I'm quite happy doing my little channel over here. Former Orbiter. Guilty as charged, former Orbiter. Moved away to fucking move into my own thing and build my own YouTube channel here. I don't think I'm looking for like a pound of flesh. Literally, this could have not happened. I wouldn't care one way or another. It just seems kind of crazy to me that like everyone is getting kind of roped into this when it's like, no, there are people that are reasonably criticizing this, you know? Like, does that include like J-stalk? Is J-stalk just someone looking for the pound of flesh, or is it someone that is held on to like the bitter end, and then this act, because it has affected someone close to him, he's decided he can't stomach doing the fucking sweeping or whatever anymore? I just don't get it. I don't get, like, what are you, like, yeah, sure, there's people that hate you that are fucking capitalizing and rubbing their hands together, but that certainly isn't everyone, you know? And it's like litigating your entire personal life. I didn't do the thing that I'm accused of. Or I did do the thing and I'm extremely remorseful for having done so. How is that having to litigate your personal life? Are you accused of now, on top of what Pixie said, which he's already admitted to, he's accused of what, voyeurism, I guess is what you'd call it, of this illicit recording without the person's knowledge. So, yeah. Anyway. Destiny, I thought... Hang on. That you never... Oh, wait, hang on. Do we skip one? Oh, we got the sex offender comment here. I think a lot of people will forgive you if you admit you fucked up and fixing your sex problems or whatever. Vast majority of people don't think this should be the end of you. Rehabilitation should be the focus. All this stuff is from 2023 and earlier, lol. Only reason anyone is even talking about all this is because of the guy who gained access to that one account and dumped Every from a few years ago. But no one cares about him because they don't think they can milk as much money out of that target. Well, I think that the problem with this person is, I mean, I don't even know if they live in the US or who they are. Like, I don't know anything about them. There was talks about them being from Russia or some shit that I saw. But it's like, again, we're trying to paint this narrative of like money-grubbing people where Destiny's behavior has led to the circumstances the leak has been so damaging. You know? 2023 also is not really that long ago.
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
From Pixie's statement, it sounds like her lawsuit is that Destiny orchestrated or was the person to leak it to Kiwi Farms.
And then, bro, if I need to go on a sex offender list, I'm taking like 20 other streamers with me, okay? Wait, what? There's a bunch of streamers that I know that have performed actions that are egregious enough that they could be a sex offender. I was going to keep that to myself until I can use it for vengeance purposes. What a bizarre thing to say. It's just like, this is his response. This is his response to fucking Chaeiry now coming out with further allegations. Shit like this. And like, I still haven't, we're going to watch the combo after this, I think. We're going to dig a bit into the Erudite sweeping allegations. But apparently Erudite was talking about how Destiny was remorseful. Where's the remorse exactly? Where's the remorse? Is this the behavior of someone who is remorseful or someone who is like, you know, bitterly spurging out because they're getting largely fairly criticized for their egregious behavior, you know? Destiny, the issue indeed is that the narrative being pushed right now and the ones that paint you as literally chaotic evil scumbag, but it's understandable that you can't also push back due to legal counsel advice. But he has pushed back. But he pushed back in his original statement. What? This is complete cope. He did push back in his original statement. There was a long passage talking about how Lauren De La Goon is involved and trying to insinuate that there was the case was therefore sullied because of her involvement and that other people behind the scenes are behaving badly too. Bitch got to keep a scumbag. Also understandable that you cannot push back until you can't surprise. Maybe you should associate with the DNC after all of this to fight against MAGA. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck, man? Don't you know it's an election year? That was the thing last year, wasn't it? Based. I mean, isn't this exactly... Dude, this isn't even a new take. I've always seen people talk about this. But isn't this what the fucking Trump-tards do? They, you know, put aside any sort of personal issues because they feel he's too politically important. You need to lead us now. I ain't leading shit. Dude, I'm not your messiah. I'm not your replacement. I'm not the next omni-liberal, okay? I didn't spend all this time moving off in my own direction only to have a bunch of you fucking retards. Some of you have probably shit-talked me before, thinking I was making a mistake moving away from Destiny's orbit. You then come into my community and try and fucking dictate. No, get fucked. Get fucked as far as I'm concerned. They got your mans. They got your mans. Get in the crystal. You're getting in the fucking crystal, motherfucker. Like, people want to come and watch and enjoy and have fun and, you know, meld in. I'm a big believer in societal integration. If you move to a new place, you should integrate into the society that you move to, okay? I'm not having a bunch of people come over here like Muslims do to the UK and set up little ghettos and behave in the way that they've always done. No, you're going to integrate into Chud Nation. That is what is going to be happening. And anyone that is resistant to that is getting fucking deported, okay? We're going to be setting up the re-education camps. No, listen, in all seriousness, obviously I appreciate anyone that wants to watch me, but I don't know, dude. It's like, there was, you know, it's not that big a deal. It's fine. I've been, things are going great, my end. But there was a bit of shit talking. I particularly remember a Reddit thread. Oh my God. I remember, oh God, I wish I could remember the name of the fucker that said this so I could keep an eye out for them. There was some little fucker that was like rubbing their hands together at my subscriber loss. You know, just as like kind of the move away was happening, I'd, you know, intentionally moved away from covering Destiny related topics, even as people in chat molding about it, go, no, cover this, cover this, cover this, cover this. There were people that were celebrating the fact that 1 month, I think we'd had a drop off of subs or something like that, right? I wonder what the person's thinking now, eh? But, you know, I don't really care that much about it. It's not like a massive thing. It's just like, well, yeah, you were fucking celebrating the downfall of my channel, you know, because what? I'd mentioned the Lawrence Southern thing and I didn't want to fucking orbit around Destiny and endlessly talk about his fucking stupid shit he was doing. So he was celebrating the fact that my channel was apparently, according to you, on the downturn. He kind of won. You're still thinking about his comment. I can't remember the name of the guy. It's indicative of a mentality or a behavior. Okay? It's not about the one guy saying that. It's about this mentality of people being very dismissive of my decision and what I wanted to do with my channel. Only for this to now happen. And it's like, well, I made the right call doing what I did when I did it. Clearly. Because God, could you imagine being associated with Destiny when this drops? You can see the rats. You can see the rats desperately trying to flee the ship, biting each other on the way. Oh, you swept, you swept, you swept. Everyone desperately trying to escape the sinking ship. I already took a lifeboat off. I'm plain sailing out here, watching it all go down. I'm watching the boat sink on my lifeboat. Enjoying myself, you know? But, yeah, exactly. They're having to massively overcorrect and, like, you know, almost like make up for their past sins, it feels like. Oh, is this the thread? What the fuck's up with chudlogic? Maybe we should ask, what the fuck's up with your streamer daddy Destiny? Maybe that's a more pertinent question, motherfucker. But no, in all seriousness, I said this earlier, I don't want there to be like a post hoc narrative, okay? I left because I didn't want my channel to be obsessively focused one way or another with Destiny, pro or anti. I just wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to pave my own way. Actually,
of newly constructed goals. Gok gang for life.
Thank you for the super chat. I'll obviously always be appreciative of the time that I was there, okay? I'm not going to act like I'm like a Hassan figure. Everything I've done is of my own accord. But, you know, I'm obviously, you know, I take a sense of pride in how I've moved the channel and the direction it's gone and how it's grown and stuff like that, you know? So I just don't want people to take that away by being like, this person built you, that person built you. It's like, yeah, I've had help along the way and some people have helped tremendously, you know? But there's a reason that I've flourished where other orbiters, even ones that have left Destiny's orbit, have completely floundered. You see what I mean? So I want to, you know, recognize that at least. Rather than just be like, oh yeah, well it's because of this person, because of that person, you know? But yeah, anyway, there we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's continue on. You were never to. Well, I don't like saying that because it feels like downplaying. I definitely. I was an orbiter. I'll say it. I was an orbiter. You don't need to fucking couch it. That's it. That's all there is to it. I find it very obnoxious when people try. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I was just. What was it? I think I saw Stardust or something tweet this. I was just a distant orbiter. Bull fucking shit. Was Stardust a distant orbiter? It's people that haven't actually taken the time to make the move and then want to act like they can benefit from having made a move they never did. That's what's annoying.
Off depressed people.
Loki, I guess you can destroy the Master's house with the Master's tools. Chud wins again.
Think of the super chat. And you know, the other thing as well is, and I've spoken about it throughout this stream, there's definitely things that when you're in the orbit you see differently. And then when you're coming in from the outside looking in, it's a different perspective. It's a very different perspective on everything, you know? But you had 300 viewers. Well, I mean, this was one of the reasons that, you know, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to move away, because it was like, literally, when Destiny went live, boom, your viewership gets cut in half. And it's like you're playing second fiddle to someone else constantly.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
THANKSFORNOTSENDINGMYNUDESTOANYONE. YOU apostrophe REONEOFTHEGGOODONES
Think of the super chat. But yeah. Wait, what is this?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money
Oh.
off depressed people?
Uh-oh, is this from the latest stream?
The sole reason you are still doing well, despite moving away from Destiny. The deranged shorty stay winning, Chud.
Dude, he's been watching. He's been watching you. And now you've cruelly stabbed your master in the back. Damn. Anyway, come on. I'm supposed to be reading Destiny's response to all of this. He's a fan. Okay, what else have we got here? I've never done anything maliciously, or as any of the fucking insane lav Mr. Rapist Jew stalker allegations say. That's fucking retarded. My only crime is being too much of a gooner in 2023. And earlier, 100% sure. Though again, I can't say anything specifically, because everyone wants to come at me in court now, I guess. Okay. What is gooning, ladies and gentlemen? What is gooning? Gooning, in its actual form, is extended, lengthy masturbation sessions that put you into a trance-like state and you will edge for hours. Okay? That is what gooning is. Now, it is used as shorthand for, you know, excessive sexual activity or something like that. I find it particularly egregious to be used in this case because it's similar to the cooming thing. It like downplays the act by acting like this is just a simple matter of being excessively interested in sexual activity, when that's not what this is. Gooning is fucking 20 women in 1 month. Gooning is, I don't know, like masturbating 5 times a day. I don't fucking know. Whatever fucking you want to call it. But the allegations here of like of a much higher stake, it's non-consensually sharing the Pixie video that was recorded with consent, and then non-consensually sharing audio which was taken allegedly without consent. That's not just gooning. Like gooning is you know, embarrassing. If gooning is morally neutral, okay? Gooning is morally neutral. I don't think the same can be said of this. This is like, you know, my only crime is this. Well, potentially not. Like, if you recorded someone without their consent and sent it to someone else, then that potentially is a crime in and of itself, you know? So this just feels like an obfuscation
move,
move,
how do I make
really.
money off depressed people?
I gooned to deep fakes of Chud I got sent by Chaeiry.
And again, if Destiny had put out a response, a robust response to the Chaeiry allegation, for example, he's already admitted to the Pixie one, although you wouldn't know that from reading his statement on it. If he'd put a response to that, yeah, that would reduce the believability because there's then a robust response on the table. But there isn't that. There was all. This is it. This is his response to the Chaeiry stuff having come out of him being accused. You see what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. Moving on. There's a huge revenge porn angle for sure, but that's from the guy who dumped everything publicly. Anyone saying anything different is actually fucking retarded. I think revenge porn is being used here as shorthand for what it actually is, which is the non-consensual sharing of intimate images. And people use revenge porn as a catch-all. But I think you can be more specific with it. But people, like, when someone says revenge porn, right, they're probably not thinking about the idea that there needs to normally be some sort of malicious element for that to be the case. They're referring to the non-consensual sharing of intimate recordings. You see what I mean? So it's like, you know, yeah, Solo is unquestionably guilty of revenge porn because I think the intent was specifically to harass or whatever the fucking terminology is. But again, his own actions in the non-consensual sharing of intimate images have allowed this to occur where it gets released more broadly, you know? Then they should say that. Okay, sure. If I'm being really precise about this, people should be more specific so there's not any room for doubt. But I understand someone just resorting to revenge porn because it's shorthand for what they're referring to. You know? You've made a load of comments that just seem to be like weird defense, but not explicitly. It's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying. Like, sure, people are using it as shorthand, but that's not really the big issue at play here as far as I'm concerned, okay? So again, that kind of take from chat is leaning on this kind of, I think, maneuvering or presentation of the information, you know? Destiny, wouldn't it make sense for you and Pixie to go after the hacker and the leaker? You barely did anything in comparison to the fucking hacker. Hope. Like, you barely did anything. Yeah, obviously the hacker did worse. But there's still a morally reprehensible act that Destiny's engaged in for sharing without consent. Pixie people behind it just want money. So there's no point in going after the hacker. Dishonest. More dishonesty. He probably some broke loser anyway. They aren't even mentioning him. Stop saying hacker, bro. It's impossible that it's a hacker. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm obviously going off the comments here. But that's another line of contention with this, which I think is reasonable. We don't even know that it's like a hacker necessarily. Right? Like the idea that someone hacked in. Whereas what seems to be the case is Destiny sent it to this Rose person. And then this third-party Solo gained access to the account. Or was given access to the account to then distribute it. We obviously don't know the full extent of that. But like, this hacking narrative suggests more, not malice, there was malice, but it's like there's more at play, like what's the right way of putting this? It's like there's more at play that's negatively detrimental to Destiny than there truly is. Like, this is a product of Destiny's, at best, extremely negligent, if not outright malicious actions. You see what I mean? Like, the hacking thing is obviously a relevant point of discussion. You can be critical of what they've done, this alleged hacker or whoever the Solo person is. But a lot of it just seems to distract away from the core matter at hand here. Which is that Destiny's actions have primed this incident to occur, regardless of how it's come out at the other end. True, but it just feels shitty considering you're a party who's been hurt and damaged significantly. Also, but when most of the commentary already hate you, I guess it doesn't matter. Most of the commentators already hate you, it doesn't matter. That's not true. Men are never damaged by any of this stuff. In fact, it's super epic and hilarious when vids of guys get leaked, or when you tweet out random sexual details like 1512 to epically own them publicly. So this feels like we're going back to the leaking of sex versus the leaking of video footage. I don't necessarily disagree with the concept that guys don't get it quite as bad as they're leaked, but again, it's like, yep, sure, I could agree with that. What about you? What about you and what you've done here? Like, all of this is just deflection and moving away from the core point at hand. You know? Tapping into the kind of Squad W narrative when there isn't really a reasonable way to do that to diminish your role in this. And this 1512 thing, I think, is a reference to Chaeiry, I believe. And it's like, okay, so even if Chaeiry has said something in regards to your sexual encounters, you know, that's potentially embarrassing. Certainly, I can understand that. But then, how does that address or deal with the allegation that you discreetly, illicitly recorded someone without their knowledge and sent it to someone else? Like, again, it just is a bit like a, okay, well, fine, you can have an issue with this, and I don't have a problem with saying, yeah, it's kind of shitty when people do stuff like this, but how does that in any way address the Chaeiry allegation? It just doesn't, does it? It just doesn't. It's a completely irrelevant point that seems to serve to, you know, tap into that Squad W energy and further add this idea that you're actually the victim. Anyway, as I've said before, I've definitely made mistakes and fucked up. All I can do is promise to do better and change behavior going forward. I'll figure out and settle what needs to be settled in the background. If it's too much, then leave. If not, then welcome to 2025. Are you going to downplay what you did by lumping in anyone who criticised you for recklessly disregarding multiple people's consent in with the likes of Mr. Girl? And then he IP bans this person and says, yep. Wondering when the remorse is going to start to come into fucking play here. I honestly think coming back and saying you're going to sex therapy to rehabilitate is the best thing you can do and for your image. No one would be against that. Your haters would acknowledge that is a good thing, even if you still want to disappear. I mean, I think this is actually quite reasonable, but then this is the response. Sex therapy, lol. Like I said, if I need sex therapy, then so do like 100 other streamers. This is insane. What about everyone else? Okay, dude. Yeah, well, when they've got allegations on the table of credible, you know, illicit recording and sending of stuff without consent, we could talk about them. But, like, what about you? Rather than what about them, what about you? The reality is, ever since I've started my Vyvanse, that's that focus drug. What is it? What's the other name for it? I don't fucking know. But anyway, apparently he's been taking this drug to help him focus or something. My desire for any of these types of interactions has fallen off a cliff. That's why all this shit is pre-2024. I don't know if I buy this, to be honest. Also, even if this was true, what if he comes off of it? What happens then? Adderall. That's it, Adderall. What happens then? And I don't even know if this is true. How do people want to describe the situation? How do you want people to describe the situation? I don't care. People can describe things however they want. Like we did in 2024. My only area of interest is politics and stuff going forward. I've been out of the drama interpersonal game for a long time. They can all do that on Jew Stalker's stream. All the KF people watch J-Stalk religiously. I mean, it's not associated with me anymore. The embed is banned here and all that. Right, okay. There was another message, I think, where he said that, like, don't defend me doing stupid shit. Dad, this is the problem. There's another one that had everything. But yeah. Okay. What is this?
Negative side effect of Vyvanse, okay? Warning, okay? This is a negative side effect of Vyvanse, okay? be very, very, very careful. I don't know if this is everybody or just me, okay? Be very, very, very careful, because you can unironically fall into a gooning black hole, I think, if you're on amphetamines. You could decide to masturbate at 6 o'clock, and then it's 10 o'clock, and you don't even know how the fuck that happened, okay? Do not. If you take an amphetamine, like a slow release, like Adderall XR or Vive.
I don't know why this guy thinks he can lie about stuff. Bro, I will say, okay, previously, okay, in previous years, in previous times, he was right. He put it all out there, okay? He put it all out there.
Dude, what is going on? It just seems like there's massive inconsistencies backwards and forwards. No, it's okay. I think we've got the main stuff out of that. This seems to be the ones we've already seen. Okay, yeah, dude, I can't find it.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you for the super chat. There's basically a comment where he says, you know, don't defend me for doing stupid shit or something like that, which again seemed like a kind of tacit admission of wrongdoing, you know? Anyway, I'm not really interested in digging into all the archives and the clips of everything Destiny's ever fucking said about this shit. You know, long story short is, he is, from what I can tell, bang to rights on this. The Chaeiry stuff is an allegation. I've not seen any proof of it. I've spoken to Jay Stalk, who seemed to be pretty kind of, you know, convincing of his belief that it was true, and he cut ties as well. So I'm cautiously believing of that, and I await any further updates or denials from Destiny on that front. His response so far seems to be just spurging out.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make
in
money
DGG Chat,
off depressed
so,
people?
Yeah. Thank you for the $2 Australian. Appreciate it. Let's go through the stuff that we missed, I guess. Lav School arc starting sooner than expected. Neil Murray to Mar-a-Lago. 2025, David Lynch dies. Film releases January 20th, 2025. Destiny's most ambitious manifesto yet. Sweatstony, what happened? Posting soon. And then this person is posted to legal stuff. IP ban. He gets IP banned. I feel so retarded. Should I return it? This isn't awful and doesn't prove that Destiny is a loser or megalo. Wow, this is stale drama. It's fine. IP ban. This person. This person was right all along with a Fairy Queen tweet because they've spoken out about some of this stuff. IP ban them. IP ban this person. IP bans getting dished out like candies. Okay, anyway, I feel like we've already talked about the this stuff. What is this? Oh, I can't see that. This is off the back of the Pixie stuff. Fuck, I wish I'd have had this earlier. I should have seen this earlier. I fucked up. I fucked up badly. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of this because I've been through the meat and potatoes here. It is what it is. We missed out on this. This is what I was looking for. Thank you. This is what I was looking for. Also, regardless of anyone simping for me or attacking me or whatever in here, if any of you are ever defending sending material to people without their explicit consent or anything like that, I'm banning you. Don't end up defending retarded shit just because you're defending your streamer fan or anything like that. So again, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment here. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good that Destiny is reminding his audience not to defend retarded shit just because he does it, which, you know. Anyway, this again seems like a kind of admission. This is a more explicit admission, though. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if a lawyer would approve of all of this. What do I know, though? What do I know? I cannot account for Destiny's 5D chess moves in dealing with this controversy. We will see what happens. I think the Pixie stuff, he's admitted to it in a DM. He's banged to rights on that. And the Chaeiry stuff, I'm cautiously believing of just based on the information around it and Destiny's lack of robust response. Obviously, I'll be fair. If there's any further comment, I'll be willing to hear it. But it seems like Destiny isn't going to be talking about it. We're going to see about this legal stuff spinning out. My guess would be that he's probably going to wait until the legal stuff spins out. If it goes in his favour, he'll probably spin it to narrativize that he didn't actually do anything wrong when I think it's pretty clear that he did. Or if it goes badly, he'll probably just continue on and ignore it and then just keep streaming. And that'll be that. That's my guess. That's my guess. Because, yeah, I think that if it reaches a point where people have kind of moved on and the legal case goes against him in some way, he could probably just disregard that, I'd imagine. But if it goes in his favour, they'll probably utilise that to his benefit, I'd guess. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen.